Hey, welcome to Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love. It is season 4, y'all, and this is the first episode of season 4. And I want to talk about paternity tests, honey, because I be watching, certain things on social media. Okay, I don't want to give anybody no props on my video, but I be watching social media. And I want to know what y'all think about paternity tests. Why is it a problem for a man to get a paternity test, to ask a woman to get a paternity test? What you mad at? If you know who is the father of your child, why is it a problem if he asks for a paternity test? I think it's absolutely necessary these days for a man to ask for that. They didn't have it a long time ago, and a lot of men took care of other men's children. And that's just the bottom line. We're going to face the facts. A lot of men, I know you don't want to talk about your little grandmamas and stuff like that, and perhaps your mama, but a lot of men took care of a lot of other men's children, okay? So I think being that now the DNA and the paternity testing is available, I think it's only fair that you allow this man to peacefully get this paternity test. Why are we upset because the man asked for a paternity test? You're talking about something that is going to bond him for the next 18 plus years if he desired to stay for the ride after the 18th year, and you don't want him to have a paternity test. What is the problem? If it's your issue because you don't know who the baby father is, don't blame him because he wants to know that he is the baby father. I don't have a problem with paternity tests. So for one thing, know who your baby daddy is. If it's not your husband, okay, if you're not married, be very careful with what you do. You know what I'm saying? I was young and I did what I did. I did my own thing. So I can't sit here and try to act holier than thou. I would never do that. But be very careful in what you do so you can be sure. You just want to be sure that you are telling the right man that that's their baby. And if that man wants a paternity test, you're sure. Let him get it. Don't get mad. Don't make him feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Asking him why he need one. Come on. You know why he needs one. You know why he needs one. And then some of us women can't be trusted. I'm just going to say it. Some of us cannot be trusted. And so while we sitting here putting these men through all this stuff, because we know we can't be trusted, and then we're going to be like mad because they want a paternity test. You see what I'm saying? Women's something else now. Y'all know that. I call a spade a spade. One thing I'm not going to do to you is lie to you. Women can be something else as well. So when a man asks you for a paternity test, what we getting upset about? If you're sure that that's his child, let him take that test. You ain't got to pay for it. As long as I don't have to pay for the paternity test, you can take 1,000 paternity tests because I already know. And that's what you got to do. You have to be very cautious on who you choose to be your baby's father. And I always say choose to be your baby's father because it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a mistake. There's not when you willingly, take the actions and that could lead to conception. There's no mistake. You chose him. I don't care if you don't like him that much. I don't care if it was a transaction. Let me say that. You still chose him because you know that 9 times out of 10, there's a possibility that a baby can be the result. So you chose your baby's father and he chose his baby's mother. That's one thing we need to keep in our minds, that when we do these type grown folks things, we're making a choice. We're making a choice, okay? And there's a possibility that choice may yield a third party. Okay, so now you yield that third party and you're not sure because you don't trust yourself and you don't trust her or vice versa. And then we get upset because he says he wants a paternity test. No, don't get upset, baby. Know what you're doing. Know who you're doing it with. Be able to say, well, I'm sure. So come on, let's get the paternity test going on. Listen, let me be. I was asked for a paternity test, and I can tell you right now, I was like, okay, let's get it. How long it's gonna take? And let's get it done, because I was sure. You have to make sure that you're just not doing all kinds of stuff in your life where you can't keep up with who that baby daddy is. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to, let me feed you now. At least give yourself a couple of months, maybe 3, before you get in that confusion stage. Okay, I can only tell you what I can tell you. I'm trying to help you out, because you're gonna do what you want to do. We're gonna do what we want to do as people. Okay, we're going to have all these different, I would say, experiences. We're gonna do that. It's called life, and life be lifing. Okay, so I just want to give you some pointers. Be careful with what you do. Protect yourself, and then if you don't protect yourself, there's a larger chance that there's a baby may result. But know who your baby's father is. Know your partners. Know your timeline as well. That way you can be sure, and you can put the right person in that responsibility category, if y'all understand what I'm saying. And you won't have 2 fathers down listed as the baby father, because one thing for sure and 2 things for certain, let me tell you this: as many daddies that you take down to child support for that one baby, those cases do not go away. Okay? I'm telling you. So if you tell them that your baby is by Tom, Dick, and Harry, and the baby is by Sam, well, them Tom, Dick, and Harry cases gonna still be in your file, even though that's Sam's baby. So be a little bit more precise on who you name as your baby daddy. Know these people, and yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, we're still talking about paternity, but know who you're dealing with. Know what type of person is. Take your time to get to know who could potentially be the parent of your unborn child. I am so serious about that. Take your time. I have not preached that enough, I don't think. You cannot rush, or you should not. You should not rush into these relationships. And let me tell you, because there is a possibility that you are not going to even like that person that you're dealing with, okay? You may not even be able to fathom him or her. You may not even be able to look them in the face. And then when you have went too far, you know what a lot of us try to do? Many of us try to make it work. Make something out of nothing works. That's what we try to do. And that's not a good thing, okay? That's not a good thing. So take your time in the beginning. It's okay to say, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not going to do that. Something else has come up. I mean, anything. But get to know a person. Don't just jump. Can you imagine having a child by somebody that you really, really dislike? Somebody you can't even stand being around. And that person, you're going to want them, if whoever has custody, you're going to want them to help you want to pay child support, but you're going to want them to be in the child's life, but you don't want them around you, and that's going to be a problem. It's going to be toxic from the beginning. So stop rushing into these relationships. Get to know these individuals. Stop doing relationship type things prior to getting to know these individuals. There's nothing wrong with saying, look, let's be friends until we get to know each other better, because we may not even match. We may not be compatible. I'm telling you guys, I have been there a lot of times, and I always take my time. I want to make sure that I am compatible with the person that wants to be around me 24/7. Oh God, no, not 24/7. You can't be around me 24/7, but wants to be around me most of the time, and I want to be around him most of the time. Okay. You have to make sure you have something in common, because if you just jump to the middle of the cookie, you're gonna, you're rushing things, and then you're gonna try to make something happen that should not happen. Then you're gonna have a toxic relationship, right? And one thing about me in relationships, I can't do disrespect. I cannot do disrespect. That's a quick way to get me out of your face, is to disrespect me. Now just think, you got somebody here that you done got pregnant by, and he is very disrespectful, or she is very disrespectful. You done got her pregnant. Now you got to deal with this disrespectful individual while you trying to go out and build a relationship with somebody else. I'm telling you, all that's going to be toxic. And if it was somebody else with me, that wouldn't work either, because I'm not getting ready to get into your drama. I'm going to let you have that. And you're going to be what? Over there trying to force something that should have never happened. So I want to encourage others, and to take your time when you're trying to be in a relationship with somebody. Don't rush it. If they want you, baby, they're going to wait for you. They're going to, listen, waiting for you is not always, what's the word? Sustaining. I don't have to wait for you and not be with anybody else. I'm going to be honest with you. I keep it real. Y'all know I tell the truth. If you're asking a man, let me talk to the women. If you're asking a man to wait for you in a relationship, do not get upset because he got somebody else on the side. Okay? I'm just telling you, if you want to get to know how he's, how we doing and stuff like that, because you got to be real when you ask these things. This is what I do. I don't jump into a relationship. So if he's already with somebody, on the side, I'm not talking about a married husband, but I'm just saying, if he's into that dating mode and stuff, I can't ask him to stop dating just to pretty much date me while I get to know him and all that stuff. And to me, vice versa, if that's what I'm doing. But most of the time, that's not what I'm doing. I don't like a whole bunch of men around me and touching me, pulling on me and all that stuff. So I won't be doing that. But if I ask someone to wait for me, I can't dictate what he's doing over there. If we haven't committed to each other, I can't dictate what he's doing over there. And he shouldn't be trying to dictate to what I'm doing over here, even though I ain't going to be doing anything. But y'all don't tell nobody. But anyway, you don't get acting all jealous if you're not going to do what this grown man expect you to do. Okay, he's waiting for you. He's trying to let you see if y'all compatible, and he's trying to see if you worth him dumping all these women over here. You got to remember that he had a life before you. So he got to make sure that it's okay to get rid of these girls over here and let them know, hey, I found somebody I'm going to try to make it work with. And that's why you take your time, so that he can get to know you as well as you get to know him, and see if y'all want to make something work. And if you got men on the side, same difference. You want to see if it's worth telling these guys over here that, hey, I got somebody that I want to make it work with. Let me tell y'all something about me. Up until about 2 years ago, I had someone that was, he was pretty much my, for sure. Okay, let me put it that right. Hold on, let me get something. He was pretty much my sure thing. He was pretty much like, every year, if I wanted a vacation, he made sure I get a vacation. Whatever I needed, my for sure made sure that I got it, right? Okay, so, excuse me. So, with my for sure, whenever I decided that I wanted to have a relationship with someone else, what I would do, I would tell my for sure that I want to try to see if this is going to work with this person over here. And, therefore, I'm not going to be going to the vacation with you because we don't live in the same state anymore. He moved. And so I wouldn't go, vacation with him and stuff like that. And he understood. So as long as it took me to see if that relationship with someone else worked, my for sure backed up. You see what I'm saying? Now, unless you have a relationship like that, okay? Unless you have a relationship like that, they are going to date people while you are trying to figure out if it's going to work. Okay? Everybody is not going to just stop what they're doing while you're trying to figure it out or while you're trying to figure it out. No. At some point, if you realize that you guys are a match, then you have that conversation about, okay, are we going to be exclusive? Are you going to stop dating? Are you going to stop dating? Are you going to get off of social media and stop that online dating? That's when that comes in. But don't think nobody's supposed to just drop all their women or drop all their men just because you want to see if this is going to work out. Come on now, be realistic. Auntie gonna tell you the truth. It's not gonna happen. Don't be getting all upset putting your hands on nobody's son and vice versa, because that is not how it works. Okay, now some of y'all like to jump right into the relationship, boom, bam, and bam, and then it doesn't work because you didn't get to know each other. Not all the times. Now, sometimes it'll work, but for the most part, you toxic. A lot of times you're toxic because you're hurting from another relationship, so you jump into a new one. And so you want to make sure that you're prepared so that, you can get your mind right. Take your time. He ain't going nowhere. I'm trying to tell y'all. They're not going to go anywhere unless they didn't want anything with you in the beginning. If they really wanted to try to build something with you, they would stay. They'll take their time. They're going to spend time with you. Now, if you're not doing what grown folks do now, but they're going to get it from somebody else. I'm going to tell you that right now. Unless y'all come to an agreement that you both are going to work it out together, wait it out together, and not do this. You have to communicate. So do not assume just because you ask somebody to wait that he is not going to do or she is not going to do what she's been doing. Okay? You have to communicate. While I'm waiting and while you're waiting, what are we doing? That's the question to ask. What are we doing? Are you still going to be dating? And vice versa. Get to know where you're standing now. Don't be assuming nothing and you see him out with somebody and you flip out and then he's not going to want you at all because you was a fool. That's just how he going to look at you. You see what I'm saying? You're violent and you're embarrassing. Nope. Get to know what's happening so it'll be in your mind. And then you let him know. Now, once we make this move, we cross the line, it changes things. Now, if I see you out with somebody else, I'm going to flip out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, put it out on the table and see how, what comes back at you. But you got to talk these things out, because if you jump into a relationship, like I can't stress it enough, you jump into a relationship, didn't I tell y'all how people start dating and all of a sudden they moved in together? You done moved somebody in around your kids. You don't know this person and they living with you now. Come on now. I don't even want a man that's readily available to move into my house. Because I need to figure out what you got going on that you can just meet me and then you ready to move into my house. That don't sound good at all for me. I need to know that you got your house on the market, or I need to know that you have somewhere to go. How are you ready to just move into my crib? But I get girls talking to me, and that's what they were saying. And we, when we start going together, we cross the line, we together, he moving in. How do you let a man move in your house around your children and you don't know him? You don't know him. I could tell y'all a story about that baby, and it'll just have you in tears. When I was a deputy sheriff in Georgia, this is exactly what happened. This guy was basically a pedophile, moved into the woman's house, and kid got unalived, and I don't even think the police could prove it was him. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, because I was on he was arrested on other charges, but I don't think they could ever make that charge stick. How can you even live with yourself knowing that you let that type of person around your child? You have to get to know these people. And in knowing them, you got to do background checks. You got to check sexual offender records and everything. And this is even before way before you have a baby. Now, what happens when you have a baby by somebody you don't know, and all of this is going on? This is his background. You know what I'm saying? And you got to let your baby be around him. If he doesn't have any type of restrictions, or you don't know about the restrictions, you have to get to know the individual. Get to know. That's what I'm saying. You take your time, and then that paternity test ain't no problem, because you know who the father is. You know pretty much who the father is, and the paternity test is not going to bother you. And I just got this because I be on social media a lot watching folks, and I'm like, why are you getting mad because the man want a paternity test? He has every right to know whether that's his baby or not. And you should know in your mind whether that's his baby or not, to where you don't care. Take the paternity test, swab it. Because I remember when I took my paternity test for my son, I had to get swabbed too. They swabbed my mom. Or did they take blood at the time? I think they took blood back then. But they took my blood, his blood, my baby blood, and they took the daddy blood. And I was just as happy because I already knew. I was calculating that back pay because I already knew who the daddy was. You see what I'm saying? Just relax. If you know who your baby's father is, let that man verify that paternity so he can feel good about the fact that he's taking care of his child. Why you gonna victimize a man because he said he want a paternity test? That is the craziest thing to me. Don't be mad at me, y'all. Don't be mad at me because I'm telling you the truth. But take your time. Put some space in between who you're dating. And then you ain't have to worry about whether or not he want a paternity test or not. He want it, let him get it. He ain't asked you to pay for it. And that's what we have to do. But also, you got to take your time, baby. You can't just go hopping around man to man, man to man, man to man. That stuff gets around. And if you, in my town, my city, it's a small city. It's going to get around, and you're going to have a whole bunch of people waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? Be particular. Be particular about who you deal with, who you let around yourself, and who you let around your kids. All right? Don't just be free. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to be free. You know what I'm saying? I could tell y'all some stories, but I won't. Maybe later on in this season, I'll tell y'all some good stories about, relationships. But I'm telling you what you need to hear now. You can go ahead and live your life, because sometimes people got to learn for themselves. Or you can listen to me and take heed and take your time in relationships and get to know people, and they're not going anywhere if they really want to be with you. So you don't have to rush and do something that you're probably going to regret later on. Just take your time. If it's meant to be, it's going to be, okay? Just know that you have to know your worth. You have to know your worth. You have to understand what your worth is, okay? Like I was telling on my video the other day, my mother, when I was going out on a date, she wouldn't allow me to eat. She wouldn't allow me to eat. If I went out on a date and he didn't feed me, baby, I was not going to eat in Gail's kitchen. She'd be like, what you doing? The freight only took one time. She said, what you doing? I said, I'm hungry. She said, no, I allowed you to go out on a date and you didn't eat. He didn't feed you. You need to go to bed. that was my lesson right there. The next time somebody took me out on a date, baby, I was eating up everything because I knew I couldn't eat at Gail's house. You see what I'm saying? And you just, you go from there. You just start learning lessons, but you take your time. Take your time. And let me tell you, if there's anybody young that's going to watch this video, let me explain to you right now. Don't rush into doing adult things as a young person. Okay, because I'm telling you right now, 9 times out of 10, that ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Make them wait. Make them wait. Okay, I know you get beside yourself, you get those little feelings, and you get excited. Oh, I remember, honey, I remember my first kiss. Well, the first real kiss, because I was kind of grown, but I remember my first kiss with feelings. I remember, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, to not do anything that you gonna regret later. Just take your time. Take your time. And I know you're going to have peer pressure. And the peer pressure, let me tell you about the peer pressure. Your friend that's already done crossed the line, she definitely wants you to cross the line too. So she won't be the only one over there. I'm telling you, that's how it goes. It has nothing to do with it being good for you. It has nothing to do with you being cool. It has everything to do with she doesn't want to be the only one that's going to cross that line. So she going to talk you into doing it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Make them wait, because the most hurtful thing for you as a young lady, the most hurtful thing is going to be to see your first love with somebody else. That thing is going to hurt you some kind of bad. But guess what? If you hadn't given a part of yourself to them and y'all break up and you see them with somebody else, it would not be that bad. I promise you. Take my word for it. Do not try it. I'm telling you, just take your time. Wait on that special person that's going to be good to you. I'm telling you. I know for me to say wait till you get married would sound crazy, but if you can, that would be the best thing for you. That would be the best thing, to only know your husband. I'm telling you, won't regret it. You really won't. But, we living in 2024 in the 21st century. Just, be careful. Take your time. But those paternity tests, y'all, stop making these men feel like they're doing something wrong for asking you for a paternity test, because these days women are just as bad as the men. Trust me, I know we are just as bad as the men. When you get older, let me tell y'all before I get off this camera, when you get older, some of the things that you used to do, you don't do anymore. You get tired, you're beyond that. There's no need of playing games anymore. But these older women that y'all think are so jealous of you and all that stuff like that, never, baby. Never. We were never jealous of you. Ever. We're trying to tell you how to not make the same mistakes that we made. That's the first thing. And I'm going to tell you, some of us was rocking and rolling, and I would be some of us. I am some of us. I was rocking and rolling because I ain't going to never tell you that a lie about I ain't never had to pay for anything. I never had to pay. I paid by choice. It was something special. And when I did it, he felt special because he knew that he always came out his pocket. I remember one guy, when I wanted to do something, I may have fronted the money until he got off work and could get to the bank. But guess what? As soon as he got out from the bank, he gave me my coins back. You understand what I'm saying? One man I was dating, he used to like to gamble, but guess what? All that little gambling money he won came to me. And then if he didn't win, he pulled it out of his pocket. So I can tell you that, and you probably won't believe me because y'all not doing it now. Y'all ain't getting that kind of taken care of now. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Slow it up. If you slow it up, you get treated a little bit better. I'm trying to tell you. I wish that I could have got this out to y'all before, but you have to slow it up. If not, these guys gonna treat you any kind of way. You're gonna be around here all these with these babies and gonna be somebody's baby mama. My baby father never called me his baby mama. I wasn't his baby mama. I mean, you know, I wasn't. He never referred to me as that. Why? Because he had more respect. I call him baby daddy just to mess with him. But no, he was a good father. And that's what you have to do. When you start choosing the father of your kids, because I don't care, like I said, it don't matter whether y'all in a relationship or not. If you lay down with him, you are possibly choosing your baby's father. Know who you're choosing, okay? Know what type of person you're choosing. If that man don't respect you, baby, you have a baby, that's not going to make him respect you anymore. He's going to disrespect you in front of your child. And then it's going to show the child that it's okay to do that. Okay? So respect yourself. Know who your baby father is. If he asks for a paternity test, let him get it. Because why? You know who your baby father is. Okay? So listen to Auntie now. Take your time, darlings. Don't even, you know, ain't nothing open after 12 but 7-Eleven and yoo-hoo. So be careful. Remember, God loves you. I love you. Make sure you love yourself. Go on and love someone else. Until we shall meet again, may you have a tremendous week. Take care.